Coss Marte.
Coss
Yeah.
Marte Dominicano. My
Yeah.
brother, I was watching. First of all, shout out to my brother Pistol Pete. He has a thing he does on justice reform and people who were inmates and they came out of jail and how they changing their lives and the shit they went through there. I want to plug you in with Pistol so you could do his show on YouTube. But I slipped into Vice and I saw your story and it said millionaire kingpin at teenage years. And
Yep.
I watched it, me and my daughter. And your story was very similar to my story, right? Different, but similar. You know, fortunately for me, I quit before I got caught and I started making music. And just like a fairy tale or a Robin Hood story, I got out. All my friends are still in jail from back in 88, 89. My best friend is doing life in jail. Like, so when I was watching your story, I was like, wow. When I was watching your story, I was like, wow. Like, I understand this story too well. So you from the Lower East Side.
Yep. Hell yeah.
How much money you had and what was the youngest age that you made that money?
So at 19, I was making over $2 million a year. So we changed the way we in the early 2000s. So you remember when the LES changing up, all the hipsters started moving down there. Before Williamsburg, Lower East Side became the first hip neighborhood. Started getting priced out, so everybody started moving to Williamsburg. But this was like 2002, 2003, 2004, around there. And so once and we changed the game up from dealing on the corner. You know, we were just selling 20 bags on the corner.
Hold up. So you and your man Joe.
Yeah.
How much more time Joe got?
So Joey was locked up. He did 9 years, but so we were in and out of the system. He got locked up while he was on parole. So he had a flatbed, and when you have a flatbed and you have post-release, he had 2 years on post-release left. So they added those 2 years on top of his 7 years. So we both had, but he got.
So I bring up your man Joe because what I seen in you guys, right? And everybody, we're not just glorifying hustling, selling drugs. You're gonna see the end result. You're gonna see why I brought my brother on here. And people have to see that. Because even if you out there scamming, if you out there selling drugs right now, if you in the hood tuning into Joe Crack and the Big Show, this is for you to listen to. This is for you to understand that what you're doing out there is actually hard to sell drugs.
Hell
because you got to find the person to get it. You got to stay out there 24 hours a day. You got to market and promote and brand the shit. Then you got people who want to rob you and kill you. Then you got the feds who want to put you in jail.
Yep. And your product.
And in there, you get to buy some Gucci or Louis.
Yep. That's right.
And so you and Joey were up 24 hours a day hustling. You said your man Joey didn't even want to go upstairs because there was so much money on the block. He would take shits on the street. Is this true?
In between the cars, we would brush our teeth with quarter water. We would just, we had this feeling, and I've never met anybody that had that money mentality like I did. Like it was, we had a cold heart, which was not now I met you, so but we had a real cold heart back in the day. But it didn't matter, like, whether we hurt somebody or we sold drugs to somebody that was already sick or we saw somebody overdose. It was just about paper. Unfortunately, it was in a bad way, but it was nonstop. It was this hunger that I had inside.
And that's the hunger
that were procrastinators. I hated people on the block not doing shit.
That's the hunger that anybody who makes it legitly, anybody that comes from humble means and makes it legit, whether they're a baker, a mechanic, an entrepreneur, whether they sold drugs, whatever. They knew they had what it took. They didn't want to be broke. And they knew they were going to do whatever it took to get that money. Now, you had the eye of the tiger. I had the eye of a tiger. So let me tell you my shitting in between cars, because that was the special part where you was like, he wouldn't even go upstairs. I know the story. I grew up so poor. And I grew up in a part of the Bronx. See, you were lucky. Because the Lower East Side, before you was born, was always a cluster. People would go there and buy big drugs and take it out of town or whatever. It was always a drug neighborhood. So there was money in your hood. You grew up in a hood that had tons of money in there with drugs. Me, I grew up in a hood that you could have bought the best drugs and you couldn't make $1. Don't ask me why, because I tried, right? Yep. We just couldn't make money in my hood. So I had to go to other hoods, which was even more dangerous, to open up shop or whatever. But I'll tell you a story. One time, when I was hustling, you know, in the streets, and I was always like, similar to you, a boss, because you always, you said you wouldn't go hand in hand, you'll throw it off, you did, you know, we always just thought like boss. This is why I love your story. And even as a young kid, 15, 16 years old, I wasn't going hand in hand. I always had a picture, a lookout, I ran it, right? So I remember one time in the area I was at, and I was in the area in the Bronx, I'm not gonna say where the shit was like Wall Street with drugs, similar to the Lower East Side. Before your time, because you came up at the time, Fat Joe was already rapping. You already knew lean back and all that. But when I came up, so long story short, like about 3 to 10 Dolphins had overdosed and died. So the National Guard came and shut the whole 10-block radius down. So it was army on every corner. And no one would hustle because everybody was scared to death. And I remember going in the trash crib, Fat Joe, pulling out 10 G's of brick and coming out knowing that the National Guard is on this corner, this corner, this corner, and coming out there and serving myself. And it was tearing it up. And I did that maybe like 3 times in one day. The last time I came, the DTs jumped, but they caught the wrong guys. They went for the wrong guys, and I got out. But what I'm trying to tell you is the hunger, the greed, the unstoppable. That I refuse to be a bum and them tell me I can't hustle and do it myself. So I know what you mean when you said, yo, I wasn't stopping at nothing. My man would take a shit in between the cars, and you was making millions of dollars, yep. And you refused to stop, yep. Right? Another story you had. But
right? we were living in a van on the corners nonstop, staying up for 3, 4, 5 days. You know, we didn't use coke. We started taking no-dose pills just to stay up, because we're like, yo, if we lose sleep or somebody closes their eyes, somebody in this corner is gonna walk by. We're not gonna lose that dollar. We don't know we're gonna lose that opportunity.
I never heard that before in my life. That one right there, I never heard. I remember one Christmas, you know, I was real greedy. So I remember one Christmas I went out there and I opened up shop, because you know we had shop. I don't like to elaborate on that because maybe in the Fat Joe book I'll really elaborate. But we had our own block. And I went out there on a Christmas Eve, because you know Christmas, you want that money. You know, but you giving all the presents. For some reason, the hood, we love to give presents on Christmas Eve when we got it. So I'm out there. It's a snowstorm, bro. The biggest. I mean, the snow is up to my knee. I got the cup of oodles and noodles. But I'm out there by myself, being greedy, not with the crew, not with everybody. I want to open up shop, buying myself out there, right? You know what, the picture, you know, whatever, this, that. So we out there, we clocking, just going crazy, making crazy money, right? Bro, 2 cops come on the block, uniformed cops. I'm watching them from the corner. Bro, they was out there for about a whole hour, looking through the snow, checking the light pole, checking the this. bro, they found the stash of money, bro.
Mm.
I seen them high-five each other and walk off with my Christmas money. And I was like, yo, ain't this some shit? I guess I shouldn't have been out here. God ain't want me to be out here. They took my shit. You know, and they kept it moving. And it bugs me out when you tell a story that you finally went to your mother and father's house, who your mother was a school teacher. Your father owned the bodega?
He worked in the bodega. He owned the bodega afterwards, but he worked in a bodega in East New York back in the day.
Could you tell a story about when you was working in the street for like 3 days straight, and you went to your mother's house and you was sleepwalking?
Yeah, so it's crazy. So I'm up for so many days. Like there was times I would just like sit on the stoop and my eyes were closing. Like, yo, I got to get back up, and I'll just like, start drinking Pepsi, Coca-Cola, just stay up. And I remember I was like, yo, I'm gonna go home real quick. Sat on the couch, just like the 6 in the morning, and I'm like, I'm gonna go upstairs. Sat on right now, started watching some TV, and I dozed off, and then I woke up, and I just mad crack on the floor, like all over the floor, and my dad walked in the apartment, and he was like, what the fuck, like. He woke me up. He was like, yo, you got to get this shit out of here. And my dad was just like more of a practical person. He knew I was out there in the street. Even when I was a kid, he was just like, yo, don't get caught. Wrong thing. Like my dad would never snitch me out. My dad would never call the cops on me. There's parents out there, they'd rather see their kid locked up, make sure they're safe than be out there in the street. But my dad was just like, yo, you making money, like, do your thing. I can't stop and control you. So all the bags were all around. There was bags in the kitchen and the bathroom and taking a broom.
So basically, you came home after 3 days. You had $50,000 worth of crack cut up in bottles and in bags. And you didn't know you were so tired. You slept walk and you just had bad cracks all over in your family's house. You woke up. I mean, was you embarrassed though? Was you like embarrassed?
I was embarrassed, but for me, I was just on this mentality that I didn't really give a fuck, But I was embarrassed because my dad was a hard worker, even though he's done his thing. But he came over here like to give us a better future. Like my dad, my little brother's a local politician downtown now. Like my sisters became, execs. One of my oldest sisters, she became the first Hispanic woman to become executive director at Goldman Sachs. So we grew up.
You're a very intelligent family and you hustlers. And bro, you're a big deal. That's why you on the show. The people come on this show, they running for president. The people come on this show is Dr. Fauci. I don't know if you viewed who we have on here, the Mike Tysons, the Floyd Mayweathers. You're a big deal, bro. You're on here for a reason. You're a big deal too. But let me tell you something, right? So you are the first person to Uberize selling drugs.
Yeah.
So now hold on 1 second. Street guys for people hustling, getting money in the streets, just realize that you could be a street kid like him and actually Uberize, meaning he created an Uber system before Uber existed to hustle and sell drugs. Break that down to us, my brother.
So we made 10,000 business cards and I distributed to every person that I thought was using drugs. So we used to go up to people and be like, yo, I got Coke. But before we even went and took it to that level, we were like, yo, what's up, buddy? How's it going? I did my white talk. I was like, hey, buddy, how's it going, man? You want to smoke some bud? And then I'll give them a little joint and then it'll be like, my God, this is good. I'll be like, well, we have a 24-hour drug delivery service. We deliver anytime, anywhere. Just hit us up, tell a friend, blah, blah, blah. give them the card. Our phones started blowing up. Like I had 1,500 contact numbers on each phone, and I had to continuously get new phones because it was not where you hold like 20 numbers. It was only like you maxed them out at 1,500, 2,500 contact numbers, and so we had to continuously get new numbers, but kept the old number and kept ringing, ringing, and ringing. So all my boys that were on the block, not doing, procrastinating, smoking, wasting their lives on the corner. Joey used to be like, "Yo, what the fuck? You ain't doing nothing with your life. Yo, get your ass moving." I was pushing rules. Yo, get a bike. I get you a car. Go to delivery, blah blah. And we started giving everybody next. And from there, just started blowing up with our phone.
But so you provided a delivery service. Your whole block was riding bikes and cars, just delivering to random people that were just calling you who took the card and be like, "Yo, I need something over here," and you guys were just serving them like it was like a cab, like a livery service.
For example, somebody would call me, be like 23rd and 5th, and I'll be picking up 2 phones at the same time, 23rd and 5th, 14th and 6th. Give me 5 minutes, 10 minutes. Once this person once my driver is there, they'll hit me up next cell. "Yo, I'm downstairs. All right, he's in a red Impala on the northwest corner. Meet him outside. This guy's double parked on the southwest corner. Meet him outside." Just like stop, like hitting up with the next cell. It was a crazy, crazy time. And then I'm just home. I'm home with a pad. At one time, I had a easel board where we had a chart, and whoever called, we were writing it down. Boom, boom, how much? Boom, boom. This person made this much. Taking quotas, and then we would just keep the books on a book.
You got so big, right? That did you even know you was under surveillance at the time? Do you know who told on you? Did somebody tell on you, or they just caught you?
Somebody told on me. So they had an investigation for a whole year, but they first locked up one of the guys that was making the deliveries for me, right? They had to put in the precinct for like 12 hours, interrogating him, blah, blah, blah. And then once they get to the crib, I had a stash house on the back in the Bronx, on the east side. And they get to the crib, they knock down the door, they bring me upstairs, they're like, "What the drugs are?" I'm like, "I don't know what the fuck is you talking about." I had probably like 500 pairs of Jordans. That's how I started Conbody. We sold all my Jordans to our Conbody. That's another story. But yeah, I get upstairs, I'm in cuffs, and the cops are like, looking for the drugs. And one detective comes up, he's like, "I know where all the drugs are," and they just pour, and he right to the corner where the box of Jordans was, and they opened it up, half, all bagged up.
We had similar to you. We were just, we grew up bums, man. We ain't have nothing. At least your mother was a school teacher. Your father, like, we didn't have that. We had like, we hustled and we made a lot of money, and we didn't know what to do with it. We just had sneaker boxes of money in the projects because I refused to move out the projects. And I remember we was just buying the dumbest shit. Cars and cars and cars. We had so many cars, bro. It's like we didn't know about stocks or investing in the business, or we was just street kids getting a lot of money, and we couldn't even buy we were that dumb. We didn't know to buy property. We didn't know to expand. We didn't have a cousin that was a lawyer. We didn't have nothing. So we basically were wasting our time. So I'm watching. Everybody, if y'all want to see after this, they have a whole episode on Coss in Vice TV. You can see it on YouTube. Amazing. I'm watching even at this point, okay? And I noticed it was the state that caught you, not the feds, right?
Well, the feds caught me, but they turned it into a state case.
Thank God, right? So, because the states, they hit you with a bigger, some you get in the feds, 7 years I mean, 7 years in the state, in the feds, they'll give you 37 years.
Yeah.
So the guidelines are different. So thank God you got in the state. I know the jail was harder, but thank God, right? But at that point, Fat Joe, who changed his life, who hustled, who did everything you could think of, I was looking at you and I said, this guy ain't gonna stop selling drugs. I was like, we'll see him again. This story continues. He came out of jail. He's coming out of jail. This guy's gonna go back to selling drugs, right? So you go in jail, you heavy set like me, and then you just get to working out because they tell you, yo, you're gonna catch a heart attack or something, right? So break down to me the process of you being heavy, getting into working out. Who trained you in there? How did you learn to stay healthy in jail? How did you know that carbs was sugar and make you fatter and this? How did you learn all that?
So this was not my first time I was locked up. You know, I was in and out of the system since I was 13. At 19, I did, you know, I was making a lot of money, but I did a short bid. I went to shock. And, you know, shock incarceration camp, you know, you 6 months, you come home. But I came home and I was like pretty fit. And in shock, you're working 2-3 hours a day. You know, I was sentenced to 3. You know, on your first bid, you get that deal, but you get like 6 months you out. So I did 11 months at the time. So I did shock right away, came home fit. Then I came back to the block, and the first day, Joey rings my mom's doorbell. Yo, come downstairs. He passes me. He gave me keys to Navigator, Brembo 7 Navigator, and, you know, girls, all this crazy shit. And we just went back to the block, and it was a wrap. Then after that,
let me ask you something. You go to Casa Adela?
Oh yeah.
Ay. That's the best Puerto Rican food in the world. Like that's the best Puerto Rican food in the world. Casa Adela in the Lower East Side. Shout out to them. So,
but they got me fat, yo. I started eating like crazy. And when I went inside the last time, doctors told me my cholesterol levels were so high that I might die of a heart attack. They suggested to like eat correctly and work out. I already knew how to work out, but I knew I needed to eat correctly. So I knew, you know, that I shouldn't be eating the honey buns in the commissary. I shouldn't be eating all the sweets and all that shit. So I left all that stuff alone. Stopped drinking the sperm killer juice that was up north, you know. And I just started working out obsessively, and I lost pounds just running.
But who taught you, like in jail, like when I ain't do time like you, only did 4 months. But in here, I had a trainer. Yeah. His name, shout out to him, his name was Hollywood. So Hollywood had burpees Saturdays where everybody do the burpees. It was almost like a yoga class for girls, but cop diesel guys in the Fed pen working out. And every day I worked out with him. And it was like, he taught me, even to this day, I worked out. I call it my jail workout, where I'm doing different calisthenics and I'm running. I keep it moving, and then I'm doing the jumping jacks, and then I'm doing the jumping up and down. I'm doing.
You got to try the Conbody workout, man.
I am, though. I promised myself when I come to New York, I'm going to the Conbody. So you get out of jail. You are used to money, brother. You are used to money, and you love money. Yep. But you decided to say, that's it. My life of crime is over. But being that you knew branding and marketing, and people need to learn the way people really get rich and really become billionaires is they use certain things that you have to use, and you almost notice it's a necessity. And so you say, when you get the opportunity, you say, I'm going to make a product like that. I'm going to make, because I got to buy it every week. So you said, I'm out of jail. I'm fit. I learned, I know all the routines. And so how do you come up with Jim Conbody?
The idea came when I was in the box. I was in solitary confinement in Lakeview. I got a problem with an officer. He beat the crap out of me. I ended up, you know, sitting in the box. And I'm in solitary, and I had a spiritual awakening that changed my whole concept in life. And I read the Bible from front to back. I realized what I was doing was wrong. Started thinking about and reflected about my son. You know, I didn't want him to grow up without a father. And I said, I vowed. I said I was not going back, but I wanted to give back to society in a certain way. And Conbody came as a light bulb. I was already helping the dudes in the yard. We were working out together, and I was like, yo, I want to start this boot camp when I came home. So I wrote out like this whole workout routine. The book is available on Amazon called Conbody, but I wrote out a whole 90-day workout routine, came home, and I just started seeing the whole neighborhood switch up. Because back before I even got locked up, there was no females wearing yoga pants running down the block. You know, like the whole fitness community was like, yo, there's a market out here. And I was on the corner in the park, in Christie Street Park, and I took a broken piece of pipe, started doing pull-ups right there, and just going up to people saying, yo, what's up? You want to do the boot camp? I already had my target market that I had in mind. I wanted to work out these young professionals, people that had money. It was basically, there was people that bought clothes back in the day that worked out with me today, which is crazy, you know? So we changed, we just changed the product, but kept the same target market.
And so you designed your gym, you opened a gym, and you designed it to look like a jail.
Yep.
And you called it Conbody.
Yep.
And so now these white people who live in gentrification down in the Lower East Side and all that,
yep,
they like to work out, and they like, damn, I want to know, all these guys come home from jail, cock diesel, six-packed up. Maybe I need to learn that routine. And
yep,
so you set up this program, and now it's the talk of the Lower East Side, and
yep,
now you got all type of customers, white, black, Spanish, and the unique thing is, tell them who you hired.
yeah. The only people that work with us is formerly incarcerated people. There's only one person that got Scotty G. He's a white Jewish kid that's my CFO. He's handling all my money. But yeah, so everybody else is formerly incarcerated. I want to change the perspective of how people view formerly incarcerated people. You know, most of the time they have this known perception. Somebody they watch TV been locked up as locked up caged animals. They're dumb. The smartest people I've met in my life have been incarcerated. You know, we just need to change and give that opportunity. I actually started this nonprofit called Second Chance Studios, where we're not only giving people manual labor jobs working in gyms, we want to teach them like technical skills, getting to podcasting, audio engineering. We're starting this whole crazy program now. So you can check that out on my personal.
And so that's like, you know, Wyclef told me one time, he said, yo, Joe, you very Malcolm X-ish. And I said, well, you know, Malcolm X, that's different, right? And he said, but I watched you for years get guys that did mad years in jail and got locked up and hired them and changed their lives, and they became part of your crew and this and that. And so he's right, as where you a person where most of these guys that come home from jail, they don't have an opportunity or they don't have a job waiting for them. And let's be clear, jail is not rehabilitation for nothing. Mm-hmm. Jail is a warehouse where they house humans like cattle. We're no different than cows, where they put a number on a cow, brand them, and in fact, you learn worse shit in jail than when you went in there.
Yep.
So the fact that you provide a situation where if a guy's a great trainer could come home and get a job, I mean, that speaks volumes to you turning your life around.
The most beautiful thing is that we've hired 47 people and none of them have gotten back. So we have a 0 recidivism rate, and there's no program out there that can say that. You know what I mean?
And it's sad because the only reason I pulled you on here, to be honest with you, besides that your story's amazing, is that people honestly are watching and don't believe that people can change. Mm-hmm. And this is a constant struggle I have. I tell people, Fat Joe does not think like the Fat Joe when I was 18 years old. I'm a grown man, got a family, got that, you know, and people they feel like you could never change. And
Yep.
and to the people who are selling drugs now, to the scammers out there, whatever, who's watching, because I know you'll fuck with Joe Crack, know that what you're doing, if you find a way to make that work ethic and your ideology, flip it legit somehow like he did, you can build your own company and be a success story. A lot of our guys are very intelligent, but they don't believe or have the means or the know-how to execute the plan. See, growing up in the projects, you would have never knew Jay-Z would be a billionaire, huh? If Jay-Z would have grew up and said, yo, I'm gonna just stay on welfare, I'm not, we would have never known his greatness. We would have never known 50 Cent's greatness, and so on that I don't even know their names, right? So we are led to believe that we are inferior and that what we say or we do, we can't really manifest it. But your story's amazing, bro. I look for you to be more and more and more and more and more successful. When I come back to New York and this COVID's over, I'm coming to Conbody. What's the address of Conbody?
121 Lillo Street. We're right by Delancey Street.
And let me tell you something. I'm coming in there, but I'm gonna be I'm working out every day, but I'm coming in there. I know you're gonna try to whip my ass, but I'm coming in Conbody.
We could do something virtually too. This is not a Peloton bike. I see you on your Peloton bike. You know, this is real shit. We do. We actually do a lot of classes virtually too. So, you know, we have a video online subscription model too, that people could subscribe for $14 a month. But yeah.
So they can contact you on Instagram at Conbody.
Yep.
Where else?
Conbody, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. I mean, I'm on TikTok, whatever you think and made up, I'm going to be on there. I'm just going to promote as much as possible. You know, Second Chance Studios is our other handle, our nonprofit that we just started.
Bro, let me tell you something. You're going to be big. Keep going.
Not
You're going to be even bigger.
Not stopping.
It's your destiny, bro.
Thank you.
I'm telling you. I know what I'm talking about. Keep going. It's your destiny. You're going to be big. I mean big.
Appreciate it, bro.
All right, my brother. Stay up, Coss. God bless. And you don't know who I know. And so the man Coss, you can see his story in more detail on Vice TV. The man's